Hello friends! Today I will talk about a topic I very much enjoy, orange blossom. I think this is such a beautiful note, and then since it's so perfect in spring-like and in summery fragrances, I think it's quite relevant for this season. Also, because this topic is somewhat complicated, the perfume descriptions often mention orange blossom, orange flower, orange blossom water, and then neroli. Then it can get complicated. But they're not the same. Orange blossom and neroli come from bitter orange tree, and oranges from this tree are used to make bitter orange marmalade. But orange blossom absolute and neroli essential oil do not smell the same. The extraction method is different. Orange blossom absolute is extracted using solvents, and neroli is extracted using steam distillation. So essentially, blossoms are boiled, and of course that would affect how the material would smell. Orange blossom absolute is quite rich. It's sweeter. It has more of the animalic notes. They're indolic. It smells quite intense, and it's quite contrasted, because on top you have this beautiful top note which is very sparkling and bright, and underneath you have this floral character, and then the animalic, the leathery, the intense part. So if you tried fragrances like Serge Lutens Fleur d'Oranger, to me it's a classical kind of niche orange blossom fragrance, because it really explores the facets, the dark, rich, intense facets of this note beautifully, and orange blossom blends really well with other white florals like tuberose and jasmine, and it really can hold its own even next to such opulent, rich notes. On the other hand, it can also be used to produce kind of a lighter, more effervescent effect, and that would be Jo Malone Orange Blossom. It's a nice cologne. It lasts for just a few hours, but it's so uplifting and bright. It's quite lovely. And then, to give you an example from classical perfumery, probably one of the most famous examples of orange blossom absolute is Guerlain L'Heure Bleue. In that context, it basically was one of the forerunners, along with Coty L'Origan. It was a forerunner of the floral oriental style of fragrances, and essentially just blending the floral part with the oriental, warm, sweet, balsamic. And L'Origan was the first, and to me, François Coty was definitely a pioneer. He created many fascinating accords, and some of them were quite intense and bold, and then later they were interpreted by other perfumers and made more wearable, more pleasing, so to speak, or just easier to wear. But L'Origan took the idea of the orange blossom, and it explored its different facets. A fresh top part blended really well with the fresh top notes of the composition, whereas the heart and the base notes they fit really nicely in this rich oriental sweet velvety base. And today, of course, it's much easier to find L'Heure Bleue, but in that fragrance you can still see the same idea at play. And another classical fragrance is Caron Narcisse Noir. That's, despite being called narcissus, it's actually an orange blossom, and it's really beautiful dark orange blossom. The parts of the orange blossom accord in that fragrance that are shimmering and light, they're really fused into this dark, intense accord, this oriental, almost like a sheep, a little bit, there's a mossy touch, there's this beautiful dark woody part. It's just a gorgeous fragrance, and in fact it has so much character that after all of the reformulation it still smells wonderful, and I do recommend that you try it. Now, Neroli is different. Neroli is all brightness and light and freshness. It's a little bit less floral than Orange Blossom Absolute, but it's also less animalic. It's green, so it captures the effect. It doesn't smell citrusy to me, so despite the fact that sometimes you see Neroli described as citrusy, it's not citrusy, it's green. The springtime freshness. Imagine if you take a bud or flower bud and crush it in your hands. That kind of freshness is what Neroli conveys to me. There is, of course, the orange blossom character that's a little sweet, the flowers almost like waxy type of flower effect, but it's subtle. And so Neroli is versatile. You can use it in colognes, you can use it in chypre, you can use it feminine, masculine, unisex, anything. You can make a very simple cologne accord and add some Neroli and it will immediately make it richer and kind of more voluptuous or just more faceted. It's just lovely. It's very difficult to give examples of Neroli fragrances because there's so many. So I will just select one among my favorites or just off the top of my head, which is Atelier Cologne Grand Neroli. It's just a beautiful Neroli example. It's a cologne, it lasts really well, but you know, it has all the facets of Neroli that are so beautiful. Then a very nice example of Neroli is Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. Unfortunately, it's extremely ridiculously expensive, and but if you have the means, I do recommend trying it. It's really nicely done. The quality is top-notch. Now, for most of us, I think something like Roger Gallet, Bois d'Orange would be fine, because for me it's just such a nice everyday cologne, and I use it quite often. I find that it's beautiful, play on Neroli and woods, and so it's quite a nice option. Then since I don't want to make this video too long, I'll save the discussion of other fragrances that are based on other essences derived from bitter orange tree, and to give you just a prelude, it's Petit Grain, which is derived from the twigs and buds of bitter orange, and of course there is bitter orange itself. Its skin is really fragrant and it produces this beautiful bitter orange oil, and it's quite uplifting, and so you could see the difference between the regular orange and bitter orange, that it looks almost like yuzu in shape with this indented bottom, and the taste is extremely sour, but the fragrance is just marvelous, and it even unscratched, it smells floral and rich. Well, I will talk about more about this note, which I really enjoy, in another video. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.